ready for the recording.
Second case in South Africa, where a perpetrator was convicted without a body, and he received life sentence. You know, the thing is, it was a bittersweet victory for us. But in that time, we decided, my cousin, Estelle Shabwertha, Liakit's grandmother, and Kayla Mentor, Liakit's mum. The three of us started, and we decided we wanted to do the Liakit Lee Foundation and call it after him, because it was remembering Liakit and keeping his memory alive. However, you know, obviously things changed along the line, and after the sentencing of Onke Mashinini, Kayla requested that, you know, she didn't, emotionally, she couldn't be part of this foundation any longer, and she needed some kind of closure, and she asked us to remove Liakit's face as well as the name from the foundation. Now, you know, the thing is, I respected her views, and I respected that that's what she wanted. And I told her, yes, we'll carry on. And, but you know what, we're not going to stop what we're going to do, because first and foremost, our vision and our mission remains the same. We will just change the name, we'll just change the logo, but it will remain exactly the same, because initially, the reason why we put this foundation out there and why we wanted to do this foundation was because of so many kids going missing. You know, the thing is, yes, I know there's the pink ladies, I know there's missing SA, but the problem is what happened when Lee went missing. You know, if it wasn't for the help of many individuals out there in South Africa and across the board, across globally, should I say, you know, the support they provided us, we would have never gotten through this. And we felt that, you know, unfortunately, that support is not there. For a lot of individuals, they go to court, they don't understand what is happening. You know, it's seriously, by the grace of God, we met the correct people involved in this, people that had to speak to the prosecutor, find out where we needed to go. So this is how Cheryl Pillay from Eldorado Park got involved, Lucinda Evans from Polisa Abufazi, and she is the 1 Billion Rising South Africa coordinator, the activist for South Africa. And, you know, she and her, you know, one of her volunteers, Zaida, also got involved. And they came through and they stood by us and they made us understand that, listen, this is how it works with the DNA. This is what happens, you know, but it didn't mean that nobody was frustrated.
Yeah,
now,
that's the main problem. Yeah.
We were lucky enough to have that support. Wendy Pascoe was also there. You know, I communicated with the police station in Roodepoort. Colonel Naidu was also absolutely amazing. But the thing is, we were frustrated because we didn't know what the processes were. We lost our faith in the police. We lost our faith in the government because it just kind of felt that everything was going to fall through the cracks. Every time we went to a meeting, you know, to a hearing, a bail hearing, we thought, oh my word, now he's going to get out. But, you know, the thing is, we were supported. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that doesn't have that support. And I said,
absolutely,
you know,
yeah.
what I'd like to do is ensure that they have the same kind of support we had as a family. And you know what? It's phenomenal. People still ask still today, what is happening? What is going on? Like I said, it was a bittersweet victory for us. A landslide case in South Africa. The problem is we still don't know where Liakit
absolutely
is.
Yeah,
we still don't know what has really happened to him, other than based on the facts that were provided in the case and what was provided in court. That is all we know. Onke still remains and says he still doesn't know where he is. It's sad because, you know what? We don't know. The police, SAPS, has promised and said, you know, they'll continue the case because, firstly, we haven't found Liz. So that missing case is still open. A child
Yes.
hasn't been found and it's still open. So it's still frustrating for us. Sorry, let me have some water.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah, understand that. Yeah.
it's
There
frustrating
is,
for all of
yeah.
us. But you know what? I thought I'm not going to stop there. We need to get involved in in our communities. We need to get involved with everything. So when I decided on voice for the voiceless, I thought, you know, that was our catchphrase as well. So be the change, hashtag be the change you want to see, and voice, hashtag voice for the voiceless. And that was a perfect thing because we are the voice for those people who are not able to speak for themselves, the people, the children that have gone missing, the missing persons. So be that voice for them. And we thought we'd actually broaden that scope. And we would include gender-based violence. We would include the LGBTQ plus community. We would include safe houses, the place of safety, ensuring that people are safe, feeding the communities. There are so much. Our youth, gender equality. We wanted to make sure that, you know, we getting involved with 1 billion rising as well. It's not a merger, but we're getting involved. And I've actually got my son involved with that. We want to make it 1 billion rising GAUTENG youth, where we involve everyone. We involve
Everyone.
youth of South Africa, male, female, LGBTQ community. You know, we want to involve everyone. So everybody has that platform because they are millennials, and not only
Yes,
millennials. And,
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
moving forward,
Yeah.
we've got, you know what, we've got this pandemic in South Africa, or all over the world, should I say, with COVID-19. And you know what, we want to make sure that everybody's voice is heard and people are treated fairly. And but Voice of the Voiceless was born, and you know what, it's been a while. It took a long time trying to get it re-registered, trying to get the logo changed. It's not as easy when you just start an
Yeah.
MPO. You've got to change everything after that, and it takes a while. And now that we've started it, you know, we're still waiting for a lot of other paperwork. So it's like kind of still, you know, in the balance. We're waiting for our Section 18A certificate that we're desperately trying
Yeah,
to sort
absolutely.
out.
You will get more donors that
Because,
way.
yes, because then
Absolutely.
only we can have donors, you know, contribute. We don't want to,
Yes.
we need to be transparent. Um, our board members, as Sitembiso Majila, he is the chairman. I've got Prabhashini Naidu, who is a lawyer. She's our secretary. I've got Jorda Daniluzzo, who's studying economics. He
Wow.
is my treasurer at the moment. And then we've got Wendy Pascoe, who is Pascoe Investigations, also to handle, also on the executive board.
Yeah.
Lucinda Evans, who is also on the
Lucinda
executive
is,
board.
yeah, I have heard
Yes,
about Lucinda a lot.
she's an amazing individual. So I thought,
Yes.
you know what, moving forward, doing Voice of the Voiceless, we need to do it right. We need that expertise. We
Yes.
do have a lady by the name of Sue Thompson that has come on board as a bookkeeper to assist us
Okay.
with our tax.
Accounting. Okay.
And yes, so, you know, the thing is, we want to do it right. We want to make sure that we have everything according to plan, make sure we're transparent. We also have our non-executive members, and non-executive members currently is Amaru, my son, who is our youth activist. He's our
Ambassador.
youth
Yeah.
ambassador,
Yeah.
and he will be working a lot with 1 Billion Rising as well. And he handles our social media. I've got Unita Matomes, who is from Pink Happiness, And she would assist us with events and moving forward, working closely with us as a friend of the foundation. We've also got Zyda, who is Zyda Samuels from Cape Town, who works very well with, she works with Lucinda as a 1 Billion Rising volunteer as well. But they handle a lot of cases of missing children in Cape Town, gender-based violence. So their expertise is vital and important to us as a foundation. And I believe that we can only grow from strength to strength on that, because every one of us involved is so passionate, very, very passionate about the foundation and passionate about.
Absolutely.
And that's what we need. We need somebody that is there to want to be there because of the passion that comes from the core of you, and not just doing it for a
it.
pat on the back,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
I'm doing it because I want to be seen. This is not about us as individuals. It's about what we can do for our communities and what we can do for our fellow human beings, for people out there, what we can do to assist them. That is what it's about, being passionate and loving it.
In
So,
this, Estelle, yeah, I just want to add one point. What I feel, I have a support system, like I said. I have got a support group started called as a Storm in a Teacup. And it's
yes.
just as right now it's working as a support group. We are trying to evolve ourselves into reskilling marginalized women and children, particularly. So, this is something which I could absolutely connect with you, that there is no point in defining a new wheel. There is already a wheel in existence. If we as an organization, if we as individuals try to improve, try to stabilize, try to strengthen organizations that are already there, then it will be helping the people, everyone individual, the core people, the core community that we are talking about, which I could find absolutely that your Voice of the Voiceless is also doing with all these other organizations you have taken into and with whom you are working. So this is a vision I think both you and me are sharing of how to help this
Yes.
marginalized community, whether the LGBTQ community, the youth, the women, the GBV, which is a severe concern. As a mother, as a woman myself, I find it as a
Yes.
very huge concern. And this is not only something in South Africa. I am an Indian from India, where I was born and brought up. And it had been a very huge case there, and it still is. So even after transforming from one continent to the other, actually where gender-based violence is concerned, nothing has changed. The
No.
the status of a woman, the status of the other marginalized communities like LGBTQ, special needs, young youth who don't have parents, orphans, and all these people, all these marginalized communities as a whole, wherever in the world you go, has absolutely not changed. That's what I have
No.
found. Absolutely not changed. So in this, I would like to do, just like to actually ask you that professionally you are a CR manager, and again this work that you are doing is it is, I can believe that it takes up all your waking time. Because of the way you are speaking, I could understand that you are absolutely dedicated and passionate about it. So I personally and all our viewers actually would like to find out what's the thing that makes you tick. Means how are you able to give yourself to so many of these projects and give 100% of them? That's a question I'm very curious about.
Well, being a CR manager in at Insure Africa, I work for Insure
Yes.
Africa, and you know, the thing is, we handle mechanical breakdown insurance, and that is more. You know, the thing is, a lot of people get upset when their claims are,
Yes.
you know, either rejected or, and I'm not saying we do constantly reject claims. The thing is, I believe that I'm very empathetic with the client. And when the client speaks to me, we first try and find out what we can do. And if there's nothing that we're able to assist with, we become, you know, the thing is, I empathize with that client. I understand, and I put myself in that client's shoes. So I speak to, I'm basically the communication between the claims agent, our operations. And not only is the client my client, the person that phones in, I treat everybody as my client, because if my claims department requires something from me, or our administration department, or our sales guys, they want something from us. It's something I'm passionate about as well, you know, because I end up doing something for somebody where I can try and assist at lengths. Yes, there's, you know, we all hot-headed, and, you know, within the work industry, you
Yes,
can
it
assist or
gets
you can't
stressful.
assist.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it becomes stressful, but
yeah.
you've got to be passionate about it. And you know, the thing is, like I say, I empathize with that client. I place myself in that client's shoes. And that's the same thing I take with when I go out and I work with somebody else, or I speak to somebody, because this is not just on a work basis. When I get calls from individuals, or I get a message from somebody, or, you know, somebody speaks to me and approaches me with a problem that they're having, you know, I place myself in their shoes, and I try and understand, you know, from their point of view. We speak to each other. I will speak to that person and not at that person. You know, because sometimes that person requires you to listen and understand where their frustrations is coming from. They want to understand, they want to know the person they're speaking to is understanding and hearing them, and not just listening to a conversation. So I take that with me everywhere I go. And, you know, I can't, you know, there's one thing, I may not be able to fix everybody's problems. And look, we can't all fix everything, but, you know, listening and hearing to somebody, and, you know, hearing someone is actually a skill. You've got to
Yes,
understand. It becomes
absolutely.
emotionally draining. However, you know, the thing is, you've always got to have a debriefing. And as somebody said to me one day, you know, Lucinda Evans, she is my mentor. She said to me one day, Estelle, you know what? Sometimes your cup is full and you need to empty it. It's overflowing. Or your garage is full. I need to help you
Yes,
move those vehicles. And, you know, the thing is, as individuals, when we go out there and we help other people, it's so difficult to give control over to somebody else, or go to someone and say, I need help, because you feel you can handle it.
yes,
But
yes,
it becomes tough. And, you know, the thing is, I've got the support of my husband and my children and my mom and my family. I must say,
yes.
I've got support
That's
of
a
a lot of
big
friends
strength.
as
Yeah.
well, because, you know, they're always encouraging me and saying, you know what, this is your passion, this is what you love doing. And, you know, the thing is, they remind me constantly of what I love, because sometimes you just become, I
Yes.
need to, you know, I want to hide in that
Let's
little corner,
go.
or
Yeah.
I just run away because I can't deal with it. And it's not because I don't want to deal with it. It's just because you want to help so many individuals, and you find that you cannot, there's certain shortcomings, and you're like, how can I, if I'm not able to assist somebody, or I can't help, or I can't listen to that person right now, I feel like a failure.
Yes.
But, you know, the thing is, my support, I've got my warrior women in Johannesburg and Gauteng, which, yes, you are part of, Olivia, you know, Gillian. I've got so many people.
Yeah.
This side, I've got the warrior group, which is part of the OBR group, which is in
It's
Cape
an
Town.
amazing group. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I have got that support. And, you know, we are each other's crutches,
Yeah.
because you have something, you go through something, and you speak to them. Sometimes you don't really want to speak to your family.
Yeah.
And yes, family's probably going to slaughter me for this afterwards, because sometimes you can find that you're frustrated with them in the house or your family because you feel you do not understand. And you're not hearing me, you're not listening to
Yes,
me.
absolutely. It happens. Yeah.
That's the thing. And you
Yeah.
need to speak to somebody. And, you know, I've got, like I say, I've got a support group out there, you know, all over. And we each have gone through our own, our own pains. We've gone through our own journeys in life. And some of us are still working through their journeys to become the strong individuals that we are today. And we're still growing. But you know, the thing is, we take from each other and we learn from each other. So it's a give and take within our journeys and within our groups. And I have just grown and flourished once I you know, started speaking to you guys. And amazingly, a lot of people we haven't met person to person.
Absolutely. Yeah. But we
Haven't
still know
seen
each
each
other
other,
very well.
but it feels like we know each
Yeah.
other forever. And you know what? That's my support. That is how I deal with my pressures. And you know, I also have brought a lot of baggage from growing up.
Yeah.
And I needed to work on me as an individual. That's the thing. I could never be myself. I never knew who I was until I decided one day, and that was with one of 1 Billion Risings debriefing weekends. And I decided that, you know what, I need to take me back. And that was a debriefing weekend of note. I said to myself, and I came home that day and I said, I'd like to introduce you to me for the very first time in my life. And it was overwhelming because I think I found who I was. And even though I realized this is who I am, I needed to still go on that journey of making sure that that person, that individual, was not going to go back into that box. And it took another year or so for me to realize that I needed to speak to somebody professionally. And I am now. And oh wow, it's a roller coaster because you're dealing with so many emotions, because it's up and
Long,
down.
deep one, buried ones.
It's coming from the
Emotional.
core.
Yeah.
And but I've grown, and you know what, I'm loving me. I always thought, to find love, you've got to have somebody else love you. But it's not just that, because somebody could love you. My husband could love me, but if I don't love who I am, I'm
Yes.
not going to
Yes.
realize, and I'm not going to accept that love. And you know what? As long as you love yourself, you believe in yourself, and you as an individual realize that you are more than enough. You know, it's amazing. And that, yes, Lucinda once again had taught me that and told me, Estelle, you are more than enough. And say it over and over and believe it. And that's how I started writing again. And my poetry is a reflection of my growth. But that's also how I cope with everything that I'm doing, because today I could have a moment where I'm feeling down and I'll post something on my status, or I'll feel that I'm having an up day, a good day, or a growth day, but that's how I believe that I can cope. That's my coping mechanism. But my support groups, as my warrior women, Cape Town, Johannesburg, my husband. Okay, look, firstly, my husband, and then my kids, my family, then my warrior
Yes.
groups, and you know, people that I speak to on a daily basis.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, there's the Facebook people, you know, people on Facebook, people on Instagram. And you know what, somebody will always say, Estelle, you know what, that message you put out there was meant for me. But
It feels, it
not only
does.
do they
Yeah.
say that,
It
but they say, you
seems.
know what? You are important. And that for me helps me that day. And that I say is also my support. So, you know what? This is what makes me and helps me go through and work with everything, cope with my professional life, cope with the foundation, cope with the soup runs. You know, even trying to want to start my own business, this is how I'm coping because I know, look, I've got a lot of people out there that actually
Absolutely. Yeah.
support me 100%.
Yeah.
And it
Yes.
makes me look forward to waking up every day. So
Uh,
yes, that's how I
yeah,
try and
Estelle, yeah, I have a question.
yes.
It was actually put across by viewers who are interested in knowing you. And I have a personal viewpoint also. Like I asked you yesterday, I'm rephrasing the question. When I'm asking you to describe your experience with the soup kitchen, I would like you to tell us, all our viewers, what strategies do you use for crisis intervention? The reason being, I have many viewers who manages or goes out for handing over sandwiches and soups, but they cannot continue regularly. The reason
Mm,
being, the people they are giving to, if they are someday late or if they're not able to go on that day, the feedback that they get from the crowd over there is very one of demoralizing. The crowd seems to have lost hope. They're incapable of trusting that these people will actually come. So this is a crisis, and these people who are already so hopeless, where they do not trust anyone, forget the government, they don't trust even themselves. How do you
mhm.
feel that our viewers can still continue with this soup kitchen and sandwich according to their capacity, of course, individually? What do you think can help them in this averting this crisis that they regularly face, especially with teens and young adults? They get very easily demoralized. No, so I'm not able to do, they are behaving so badly with me. So how do you think, as you running one of the biggest soup kitchens in Johannesburg currently, how do you deal with these people who are so demoralized with life, who are not ready to trust that you are going to bring them food again, and sometimes if you are late, how do you as an individual deal with that? That's something lots of viewers are interested in knowing.
Okay, so first of all, you know, the thing is, I've I've experienced and I've actually also heard that a lot of people, you know, the thing is, we've got to look at from their perspective. First, understand why are they getting upset? Because a lot of people will turn around and say, but you need to be grateful, you're getting something. It's not about that. Do you know that a lot of individuals that are standing in those lines, already for them standing there waiting for somebody to give them food, um, you know, it feels like, you know, they feel demoralized, first of all, because, you know, it's like I'm begging for food. Now, when they expecting us to come at a certain time, and we're not there, and you know, the thing is, we are half an hour late, you know, they start feeling like we're losing faith in them. They just like the
Yes,
government, or they just empty
yes,
promises.
exactly. Yeah,
And that's the thing. A lot of people start thinking, oh, they're not coming, they're forgetting, or, you know, we don't matter anymore. They look at us, they're looking down on us. The
yes,
thing is, we should not be, you know, and I know a lot of people don't look down on anybody else, but it shouldn't be about a them and a us. It's we. When you go, you've got to acknowledge, yes, sometimes it gets out of hand, and some people just, you know, um, individuals feel like you owe it to us. But, you know, the more you interact with that person and apologize and say, you know what, I understand that, you know, you're standing here waiting for us, and, you know, we are late, we apologize. You know, you've also got to smile and make sure that that smile reaches your eyes, because, you know, the thing is, it's
yes,
frustrating, and now they can't really see that you're smiling because you're wearing a mask.
yeah,
But the thing is, what I found that I end up saying, you know, personally, I apologize. And I treat that individual like I would like to be treated, because we are the same people. You know, it's the same person. They could be on the other end, and you know, they're trying to feed their families. You know, the frustration with the
It's actually
coronavirus, with
more sad.
COVID-19,
Yes.
it contributes to the frustration now.
Yes.
And I believe that, you know, it would be different prior, it was different prior to COVID-19 compared to now, because that same individual standing there has got frustrations not only about not having food in the house, it's the fact that they've either been retrenched, they've lost their jobs
Yes.
due to this pandemic. And, you know, the thing is, this is not something that they want to do. They feel, you know, they need to understand, and people need to understand, when we're doing this, we're helping an individual. And I know the next person will do it for me. I could be standing in that queue one day waiting for a food parcel so that I can feed my family. You also find that it's more the males, because they
Yes.
normally across and feel, you know, you have that masculinity, you
Yes.
have,
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
the breadwinner. I'm the person that needs to make sure my family eats. I'm the person that has to make sure I go out every day to feed my family and make sure I keep that roof over their heads. And that's also part of that frustration. And you've got to be empathetic. You've got to put yourself in their shoes. You've got to understand and apologize and say, come across humanely and say, you know what, I understand. And this is where the interaction also comes. Because remember, you're not just handing out
No.
food.
Yes.
You are speaking to the individuals, because that person could really, really need to speak to you and say, I just need you to listen. Is there any way that you could assist me, knowing that I've got a baby at home, or I have got a wife that needs this? However, we've also got situations where, as a female and a woman of a household, where she's being abused also, that frustration where she needs to speak to somebody and she needs
Yes.
to be
She
put in
can't.
touch with people. Right
Yes.
now, when we all told, stay in your homes, you're isolated, stay where you need to be, they feel they've got nowhere else to
Yeah.
go. So they stay in a household where they cannot even report that abuse happening. And I'm not just saying that women alone are being
No,
abused.
there are men, there are children.
As well,
Children's are.
everybody, our children.
Yes. Yes.
And the thing is, they just need to speak to somebody. And this is where I'd like to also get counselors involved, people that deal with social in upliftment, people that can speak to the next person, to also get involved in soup kitchens and you know, handing out those parcels, and maybe just going there and sitting and saying, you know what, I'm here to listen to you, speak to me.
We need
Because that's
someone.
all, we
Definitely.
need
Yes.
people.
Even
So,
us. Yes.
you know, the thing is,
Even
when you get
us.
involved with soup kitchens, get involved
Yes.
because you're passionate about it. Because remember, it doesn't just stop there. It doesn't just stop at,
Because you also get emotionally upset when you see and hear all these
yes,
stories. You
you
are
do.
also upset. It means you need to wash your brain and process it also.
Definitely. I
Yes.
had a situation in Adele, and the reason why I also went into Adele is I grew up there. And my dad also helps. He does, you know, he feeds between 60 and 100 kids on over the weekend, because that's also only the time he can get involved. I can also only get involved over the weekend because I'm
Yes.
working during the week. But there are
Yes.
people that I am involved with, or people that, like, you know, I know as well. Like, I've got Ma Joan, who tries an assist on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. She does it in South Hills, in that area. She also depends a lot on donations. I've got Cyril Lowe, and he's the CEO of the Walezi Foundation in Ennerdale and
Okay.
Akufa SA. So he also depends on donations. So if I'm not able to do something, then I
Yes.
like say, okay, I'll give you this and I'll give you that, and they try and assist. Now, Cyril Lowe is, he feeds daily, and he works with individuals. They know them. They work with
Okay.
individuals on a daily basis. And he was giving me stats that on a monthly basis, they actually hand out about 11,000 food parcels or plates of food, because they can't always do food parcels, so they hand out
Yes.
plates of food. He also works with the Meals on Wheels. And the thing is, they face that daily. And when I go out with them and I see that, yes, there's frustration, what I've seen
Yes.
with it is the humanity. And they know people by name. That's the thing. You
Wow.
get to know
Yes.
the person's name and you speak
It's
to
a,
that
like a
person,
family.
and
Yes.
you
Wow.
actually see the difference in interaction. You'll
Yes,
see that
definitely. Yeah.
they know that person, and it's like, how are you doing today? How's your health? It's getting to know that individual. So when that individual is frustrated, or when they go out, and when we go out doing these soup kitchens and the soup runs and feeding schemes, the thing is, it's your personal relationship with them, and them understanding that, you know what, it's not just somebody saying, yeah, there's a plate of food. They know who we are. They know
Yes.
what we're doing. And that's the thing. You're building a relationship.
They feel
Treating
they
a person
belong.
as
Yes.
the only person around. That's why I always say, with clients in a professional capacity, you treat that client as if they are your only client. That client, we've got hundreds, thousands of clients,
Yes.
but that one person, when you're speaking to that individual, you treat them as if they're the only person that exists at that moment in time. It's humanity. And the thing is, you feel fulfilled, and it's something that, you also, and you're also emptying your cup. And the thing is, there was a lady, and I didn't even get a name, and I feel ashamed that sometimes, you don't. That's the one thing I never asked her, and she asked me if she could pray for me. And you know what, that felt good. She said
Yes.
to me, I just want to thank God for people like you. And she said, God, please help others to open up their hearts so they can give this woman some things so that she can help us. So it's a ripple effect, and it touches my heart. It just makes it worthwhile. And those little arguments and frustrations that you get from people, remember, you're going to face that. We face demons, we face
Yes.
frustrated people daily. But think about it. Once they've got that plate of food, once you've spoken to that person and you've just helped them a bit, you feel good, and you forget about that. And that's what motivates you. That's what pushes you, because it's your passion, your desire. You've got to understand that it's not something that you can pick up along the way. You can't just decide tomorrow
Yes.
morning, I'm going to do this. It's something that comes from within. And, my parents have been doing this for a long time. My mom does the cooking for me because she cooks a lot. And yes, she needs somebody to help her cook, which, I help her cook. And yes, I can cook too. but I can't cook for so many people. I actually make delicious meals, but I can't cook for so many people. And my mom
Yeah.
knows she knows how to do that. And she's my, my mom's my saving grace. She helps me so much. And my boys would come and then she'll say, I can't lift this pot. And then I've got Cayman and Amaru coming to help out. And then I've got my husband in the corner saying, okay, make sure you stir it this way. He's not doing it physically, but he's the
He is
cheerleader.
motivating. Yeah, absolutely. Means it
It's
is
motivating.
absolutely a family. You are just growing your family, which I could find is,
Yes.
which has started from you learning it from your parents, passing on to your son, and
Mm.
now they and you, all of you together, are bringing up and building a big family of huge people, of
Yeah.
actually their family. When you are interacting with them, they're all your family. You know their names
And
and
you know
everything.
what?
They're family now.
For me, for me,
Yes,
family is not just blood. Family
yes,
is not just people that have, been like generation to generation, people within your family because we blood.
yes.
For me, family are friends. I've met people via, unfortunately, due to the
You are
unfortunate,
such a positive person, so I believe you get
because
positive
of my,
only.
I've,
Yes,
I've got family. I've got a
yes,
huge family. South Africa, globally. I just
yes,
believe that my family, my sisters, my brothers, whoever you are, the thing is, when we treat each other with that love, respect, we value each other. What
yes.
more could you ask for in family? What more could you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it just makes me, I feel it in my core, my heart. And yes, I cry a lot. I do cry a lot.
Yes.
But I try not to cry around other people because for me, I'm the type of person that if I cannot control a situation, I hate it. And when I cannot control my tears, I hate it because I'm not in control of that. So, I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. And I love the people around me that support me. And the fact that we're doing this because we love it, we share the same passions. The thing is, I'm sure I'm smiling so much right now because I'm speaking about things that I love doing. And I'm an individual. I've learned to become me. And I said, I'm a woman that embraces herself. I embrace my sensuality. I embrace me as an individual. I'm growing and I'm loving life. I'm loving me. And I just feel that I can walk out there and feel that I can conquer the world. That's how I feel. And yes, I'm going to have somebody that's going to try and, just say, oh, hell
Yes.
no. I've got to just walk past that and ignore that and say, you know what? You either come with me and we can do it together, or try and avoid that negativity. But it does get me down. It does affect me at times. But like I said, I've got a brilliant support structure,
Yes.
being a lot of people, my warriors, my family, friends, people I haven't even met. That's my support. And, they allow you to vent. And that's important. And they allow you to speak about it. But it makes me positive to want to do and carry on and want to do what I need to do. And that's the important thing. Just loving it, being passionate about it, grabbing it by the horns and saying, I'm going to do this, and just going out there. That's the thing. So, and I'm blessed with amazing sons, and the thing is, they're activists themselves. And when I say activists, they they do not like any sort of discrimination. My youngest son came in he is a for gender and equality. He's the RCL at school, and he stands up and he speaks out. And he was the introvert, by the way, but he stands up and he speaks out. And he always says to me, "Mommy, I admire you, and you've got this."
That's the
And
best thing a mom can hear ever.
and do you know, it's so amazing. You know, Maru, yes, he does this with the youth. He's studying medicine, but my kids know me so well. I walk in and they'll look at me, and Cayman will say to me, "You look like you need a hug right now. You
Oh,
look like you really need that hug." And they come and they hug me, and they know exactly, they know me. And I'm blessed. I'm so blessed. And I thank God, honestly, I thank God for what I have in my life and my achievements up till now and what I will be achieving. I thank God for what I am able to achieve and what he will grant me in the future. You know, it's just loving life and loving my family. And I wasn't here as an individual myself a few months ago. I wasn't there. And I'm there now, but I'm still going. My journey is not over. My journey with myself growth is not over, and I'm still carrying on. And who I am right now is who I am because of where I am in my journey. Who I'm going to be at the end of my journey, I don't know. But I'm so excited to meet her. I'm so excited to work towards my future and work towards
yes.
my future me. And I just wish I could do that for other individuals and encourage individuals, whether you, doesn't matter who you are, our LGBTQ plus community, our males, our females, whoever you are, I want to say, embrace yourself. Love you for you. Never allow anybody to make you feel less of who you are. And remember, you can only know what love is when you love yourself and know that you are more than enough. You are phenomenal. You are a strong individual. You've just got to say, "I'm grabbing my individual by the balls. I'm grabbing my individual inside and saying, I'm letting go. I'm breathing. I'm taking that deep breath." And I know it's difficult. I know it's so difficult to do that. But try and work on it. You're going to get there. Never, ever give up. Don't ever give up who you want to be. It's, wow. You know what? It's just be comfortable with you and love you. That's what I've got to say. And I know I speak a lot. I love speaking, and I'm so sorry. I could
No, it's
have.
absolutely, I could absolutely connect. I'm very sure that all the viewers who are going to listen to you a little bit later are absolutely going to love. Means you have talked about teens, you have talked about moms, you have talked about the LGBT community, you have talked about every single individual and how they can make something of life by just owning themselves. That's what I could feel.
Yes.
As long as they own themselves, nothing is impossible for an individual. That's the take out I
Yeah.
can make of the total conversation with you. Estelle, we are missing out on time now, and I think I really need to. I don't know how to stop this. I really need to talk to you so much, but let our viewers put in their thoughts across, and I'm sure they are going to learn a lot just listening to you and hearing you speak. This was a story long coming. Thank you, Estelle, for today.
Thank you so
Absolutely,
much
Estelle.
for
Look
having me.
forward to meet you in person. I need a
Me
hug from
too.
you. I
Oh,
need
yes,
that
and I
hug.
need one from you too. I
Yes.
can't wait to see you and sit with you and just,
Just
I
yes.
can't wait.
Absolutely, Estelle. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the
Thank
day.
you so much for the time. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. You have an awesome weekend further. and
Thank you.
stay safe and sanitized.
Yes, absolutely.